Up next, it is our Truth or Fake daily fact-checking segment. That's in association with the France 24 Observers, and I'm joined by James Creedon. Hello, James.
Hi, Tom.
Now, the first round of the presidential election here in France is on Sunday. Some polls doing the round, and various outcomes potentially being expected here. What have you got?
That's right. So we've got the polls that we're familiar with seeing, and that Philip was taking a look at there just moments ago, with Emmanuel Macron in the first round polling at around 28%, Marine Le Pen quite likely to make it into the second round, and then going down, Eric Zemmour, who has been making a lot of noise throughout the campaign about his certainty of reaching the second round and indeed being elected. You're seeing that the polls are putting him at quite a meagre 8%. Some polls saying maybe 10 to 11%. In any case, a lot of the polls seem to really mirror that sort of a breakdown, except this one, which seems to have a rather different take on things. And this is being circulated on Twitter quite a bit over the last week or 2 weeks, and it has a radically different take on things with Eric Zemmour ahead of the race in the first round, and he saying that Emmanuel Macron would actually be eliminated in the first round, and that Eric Zemmour would then beat the far left candidate Jean-Luc Mélenchon in a second round runoff. Now, that poll claims to have been done in conjunction with Le Temps de Genève, which is a Swiss newspaper, and also a Singaporean investment fund. And you can see here that a lot of different Twitter accounts have been sharing it. A lot of them, in fact, seem to be Twitter accounts that would be pro-Eric Zemmour. Not all of them, but some of them. And we can't say for sure where the origins of this poll. But what we can say for certainty is that Le Temps de Genève have denied that they have anything to do with this poll. So that would seem rather fishy. And Cédric Garoffet, who is the editor, the digital editor at Le Temps newspaper, said, "We have never ordered any poll like this. We've no reason to conduct a poll on the French presidential election. We are a Swiss media." In any case, it appears that poll is completely bogus, but of course it would play into the hands of those who would rather see their candidate with a somewhat higher score. And of course there is always that issue with polling. If it presents a candidate with very low chance of winning, this is something that that candidate would view as unfavourable, because it would perhaps influence voters or dissuade voters from going for their particular candidate and sway them towards another. In any case, a bogus poll, and certainly Le Temps de Genève washing their hands of it, saying we had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Okay, so anyone watching with the volume down, that poll is not real, the one that you saw on your screen.
Right.
Now, this could also set up expectations falsely, because, of course, we've heard vote rigging claims in other elections in other countries of late. Could we have claims like that here?
Indeed, and in fact, two of the candidates who've been polling quite low, that's Jean Lassalle, representing more rural voters, he's from the southwest of France, and Nicolas Dupont-Aignan, he's running for the third time. He's never polled more than 2%. Both of them are saying, we're living in a dictatorship, and this election is going to be rigged. So that is a kind of a motif that has been coming back and again and again. Marion Maréchal Le Pen of the Le Pen political dynasty, who is supporting Eric Zemmour, neither of them have overtly spoken of vote rigging, but they do keep using this term, stealing the election or stealing the vote. Now, what you could perhaps argue there is that even if they're not directly speaking of vote rigging, they are using terminology that could appeal to voters who might buy into these sort of theories. The famous term dog whistling, which has been popularized from American politics. In other words, on the surface, it doesn't sound like they're making accusations, but actually it's speaking to the talking points of, I suppose, conspiracy theorists. In any case, there's been a lot of research done into these different bids to supervise the vote, which have been put at TF1, looked into two different organizations, Bon Sens and Réciproque. They're saying, look, we can't trust the official tallies, so we need to have a monitor at each polling station, and that, I suppose, sows the seeds of doubt that the actual official tallying will be reliable. In any case, what we can say here is that these supposed watchdogs, there's nobody vetting their tallying at all. You can sign up to be a monitor just with a name, surname, and an email address. So who's to say that these vote monitors are not themselves completely biased, in fact? In any case, just very quickly, it is important to mention that data.gov.fr has full transparency on vote counting, and the Conseil Constitutionnel oversees all of that. So there is no real reason to have a worry about vote rigging in this election.
Thank you very much, James Creedon. Thank you for today's edition of
Thanks, Tom.
Truth or Fake.